Hello and welcome to COVID-19 Local Impact on your TV. I'm Dan Malta. On today's show and all shows going forward on Fridays, we won't be reporting the stats. We won't be hearing from politicians. We'll be highlighting the bright spots and bright moments continuing to occur in the area. First, an example of technology keeping family bonds strong. With the Ministry of Health advising people over 70 to stay home, some seniors are turning to more than just the telephone to communicate. 83-year-old Rosemary Ganley was able to connect with her family in 3 different areas of Canada on her recent birthday.
Well, the feeling of isolation is pretty awful. And I'm 83. I had an 83rd birthday last week. And I use the computer and a tablet, but I don't carry around a smartphone. I think I'm typical of my age. I am willing to learn if it's taught to me and retaught. As so there was a meeting last week and the host was from Port Hope, and I said to her, "You'll have to give me a tutorial," and she did. And now then my birthday came on Wednesday, and my 3 sons, they're in their 50s. They said that they would collect the 8 grandchildren and we would have a Zoom birthday call. And they're in 3 time zones in this country. So that was another motivation.
You didn't use Skype in the past. You didn't
No.
use Zoom in the past. What
No.
was other than the meeting in Port Hope, it sounds like going forward, you may be Zooming more often.
That's right.
And can you tell me then a little bit about your decision why you went, okay, I'll try this out and see how it goes?
I'm not an early adopter of technology, but when it gets more widespread and simpler to learn, I don't have a really good aptitude for it, but I am a risk taker of all kinds. I lay my opinions out there and get reaction, and I have a good sense of humor. So when Zoom was presented as the latest, but simplified for any adult, I thought I'll take that on.
So you mentioned you had a birthday last week. You mentioned that you are in your 80s.
Yeah.
Not everyone is as tech savvy as you.
Yes.
Do you have any advice for anyone that is older and is in this self-isolation?
Well, I saw a lovely story. The Premier of Nova Scotia is named Stephen McNeil, and he was touched by the photos of loved ones going to seniors' homes and shouting through the window. And he ordered that 800 tablets, computer tablets, be delivered to seniors' homes. I thought that was compassionate and insightful. Now the attendants will be busy now teaching those seniors how to, I would presume it would be Zoom, and reducing the stress and the loneliness on them. My advice is, have a relationship with some person, probably a younger person, who will come or at least talk to you in some way and teach. You need a patient person. I would encourage seniors as a step to reduce the isolation. I mean, we used to have telephone calls, but this is one step improved.
We now shift to a story out of Northumberland. The Northumberland United Way had set a campaign goal of $850,000 last September. Last week, they were pleased to announce they had surpassed that goal.
I think probably the most recent stories would be related to the COVID-19 response. We set up the COVID-19 Relief Fund, and although we've met our campaign goal, we will continue to raise funds for COVID-19 relief, because we know that the impact of this to our community partners is going to last well beyond any sort of quarantine or business closures. So we've gone into the community and we've said, can you help us? And they have, and they've come back, and we've raised $10,000 so far. We continue to bring in dollars, and those dollars go directly to programs and services in the community that need it most, urgent and emerging needs. And it's really anybody. They don't have to be funded partners, currently funded partners. They could be, as long as they have a charitable registration number, they can apply and get funds for whatever it might be. I got a phone call from someone working within the new shelter that has been put out at the high school. And they said, this is going to sound really basic, but people don't have gloves and they don't have underwear. So can you help us? And absolutely was the answer. And it always will be in times like this for United Ways to support the community. It's not always about program delivery. It's not always about, meeting basic needs. Sometimes it's about something really simple like a pair of gloves or, a cell phone for somebody to stay in contact with their family and friends, things like that. So we really are trying to be responsive. We absolutely are giving to those organizations that are meeting those basic needs like food and shelter and things like that. And then again, our community partners always go well beyond their mandates by providing tons of volunteer hours and community support and just being out there over and above what their normal work week would look like. And I think that's why it works so well in Northumberland County.
If people want to give and get involved in the COVID Relief Fund through the United Way, how can they go about doing that?
If you just go to our website, mynuw.org, you can follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. There's information sort of all over there. It's a couple of clicks and you can get to the donation page. Every dollar counts, like I said. And if you are a community partner who's looking for funding, there's a button on our website as well. It's not a convoluted process. It's pretty simple. And we're trying to meet the need as fast as we can and with as many donor dollars as we can. We continue to sort of evaluate the annualized funding piece. We will be sort of moving this train along and letting our community partners know that have applied for annualized funding, what that looks like as of today. We know that might change depending on the needs of our community, but all COVID-19 relief fund dollars go directly back out into the community and to those that need it most.
A fundraiser called the Front Step Project just wrapped up, raising more than $3,000 in the process. We spoke with photographer Morgan Bress and the Kawartha Lakes Food Source about the efforts.
Morgan Bress, who is a local photographer, reached out to us. She contacted us to see if we were comfortable to have her run a fundraiser on our behalf, which of course we are. We absolutely said yes. She took it upon herself to find a way to make sure that social distancing could still be adhered to. Families in the community who had been shut inside for days on end had something to look forward to. And in the meantime, they were also helping to support those who are in need throughout our community. So it was a really beautiful idea. I mean, we all jumped at it, all of like my colleagues and myself. She had a fantastic idea and she really ran with it. And there were other local photographers, Kim McGee and Crystal Whitehead, who also jumped on the bandwagon and started doing it as well. We're blown away. It was fantastic.
It started in the States. And another photographer that I knew in Boston had started it. And so I kind of thought, hey, that'd be an awesome thing to do here. So I decided to do it in the Kawartha Lakes. I made a blog post and posted on my Facebook page about what I wanted to do. And it took off right away with a lot of families wanting to sign up and participate. Goal was $1,500 and we ended just a little over 3,000.
There was a lot of joy on the faces of people that you captured. What did you personally get out of this experience?
It actually filled my cup a lot in a terrible time. I love shooting and I couldn't do that anymore. My studio here in town is closed and I wanted to do something to give back to the community, and the best way I knew how was with my camera. So I love being able to see the different families, people I didn't even know, but that I met during all this. I shot at least 10 feet away from everyone. I'd give them a call saying, hey, I'm on my way, and just to step out onto the porch when you see me pull up. And then I would step out of the car, shoot with a long lens. And I was there for maybe 5 minutes tops, and then off I went to the next family.
The annual Pedal for Hope cycling tour won't be heading to schools this year, but that's not stopping them from honoring their pledge to help kids in our community living with cancer. The Canadian Cancer Society announced this year's tour has moved to an online virtual Pedal for Hope tour.
Not being able to go to the schools doesn't mean that we can't have Pedal for Hope.
Year 16 of Pedal for Hope will be different, but Sergeant John Townsend of the Peterborough Police Service and the rest of the Pedal for Hope team remain committed to providing an opportunity for youth to stay engaged.
It's crazy when you put a bunch of people together and you start coming up with this, how are we going to adapt? You start thinking, wow, why have we never done this in the first 15 years? Why did, Susie never get an email from a team member, kind of saying congrats and I love your story. So these are some of the things that we're experiencing because this is new to everybody. We're in uncharted waters. This is unprecedented, but we want to do a great job with the virtual tour, and we want kids to feel like they're engaged. We're going to send out challenges. We're going to send out different team members are going to post videos challenging kids to give us your best beach ball video. We start with beach balls every year in the schools, and it's absolute chaos. Well, we don't want to stop that. We don't want to feel like we're not doing it. So we're going to get kids to post videos of them playing with beach balls, or, give us your best, tell us your best healthy eating, or your best ice cream eating contest. So there's going to be a lot of aspects from our tour that we actually have online that the kids can submit videos and participate and feel like they're really part of the team. And that's what it's all about.
Townsend also views this unique edition of Pedal for Hope as an opportunity to make closer, more personal connections with those who participate.
And that's what we're looking for kids to submit your stories on why you're doing it. What has motivated you? What family member are you recognizing, or are you honoring, or what friend are you supporting through this journey that they're going through living with cancer? What is your reason for doing it? And we're asking for stories to be submitted by email, by video. They can draw pictures and submit it. We'll put it on the website. We'll put it on social media. It allows us to reply to participants in a more, like you said, a more personal fashion. If they have a favorite team member, they have somebody that they like or they've been following, or maybe they just fell in love with the bear, then send an email and we'll send out the replies. And the team members are pretty excited that they actually get to maybe make a little bit more of a personal connection. And you know what? I've said it at the police service many times. Sometimes when you have to think outside the box and you have to change the way that you do things, at the end, when it's all over, we may find some good stuff that come out of this and some good ways of doing things. So the virtual aspect of the personal approach may never go away. This may be something that we continue in parallel to our actual physical tour coming back in 2021.
For more information, visit pedalforhope.ca and follow the links to their social media platforms. The virtual tour will run from May 4th to June 5th with a goal to raise $50,000 through online fundraising to support pediatric cancer research, as well as the local pediatric family counseling program. 300 hockey players heard their names called as part of the 2020 OHL Priority Selection. We were able to get reactions from a handful of the players selected by the Peterborough Petes as they enjoyed the great moment with their families.
Good 200-foot player, someone who moves the puck well, good in all three zones, and use my size and skating to my advantage everywhere. It was really good. We knew what teams were kind of looking, but we were still surprised when today came, and when we got the call and we saw Peterborough on it, that was really exciting to know that we were going to such a great team in a great town with amazing people, and I can't wait to get started.
McCoy won an OMHA championship with the Quinte Red Devils this season and was named as one of the OMHA Players of the Year. The other recipient of the award, Pete's 23rd overall selection, 6'4" right winger from the Southern Tier Admirals, Sam Alfano.
I mean, Donovan's such an unbelievable player. And, as the year went on, I'd always just work to eventually play against Donovan because I knew it would take everything I got. And so to be able to go to Peterborough with him and hopefully just start something special there, it's pretty amazing.
I'd say yes, yeah. They got quite a dynamic duo in the both of us, even Justin there too. And I saw Sean Ramsey, we got him too. I know terrific players that we all drafted today, and their future's looking bright for us.
The feeling of joy was a common trend amongst the Pete's selections, as most of them described it as the best moment of their lives.
Hugged my dad, and then it was a great moment, and I just started crying. I was bawling, actually. It was just a great experience.
Oh, I was so happy. My dad was crying. Everyone was happy. Dog was jumping. Everyone was super hyper, and I was getting phone calls and texts from everyone, trying to go through them all still.
The reaction was me running around in the backyard about 5 times, just with my hands in the air. It was pretty exciting moment, a lot of adrenaline running through. So very emotional in the family, especially for my dad and my mom. They found out, they started crying and stuff, so yeah.
7th round selection Eli Sebastian's parents were by his side as he joined us, and they couldn't be more proud of their son.
Go Pete's, go!
And I'll keep you guys in there for just a moment as well, Mom and Dad. The moment that I guess you guys get the call either from Mike Oak or if it shows up on the screen watching the draft, what was that moment like for you guys as a family?
It was great. I mean, you know, growing up in Ontario and being a family from a small town as well, you know, the OHL has always been a goal for Eli, and to see that come true through all his hard work, and you know, it's we're really happy for him, and as a family, it's you know, it's a nice little stepping stone for our son, and to be in Peterborough, which has such history and tradition as a hockey town and a small town. It's quite exciting.
And who got the first hug?
Mom, of course.
Mom. I'm really super proud of Eli. So he got a very big hug from me.
And Eli, we'll go through your life to this point. Where does this rank in terms of moments?
This is definitely up there for sure. Obviously, like, been looking forward to this for a lot of years. It's been on my mind. So just today overall, it's just amazing experience, and definitely never forget it.
As COVID-19 local impact continues on your TV, we'll hear from Coralie Jacobs from Easter Seals as she explains how the organization is adapting during the pandemic. Welcome back to COVID-19 Local Impact on Your TV. I'm Dan Malta from the Your TV Peterborough studios. Fundraising has changed for Easter Seals as many of their events have been postponed or canceled. Coralie Jacobs, Eastern Region Development Manager, details actions the organization is taking to keep fundraising.
What Easter Seals is striving to do right now with appropriate timing is to deliver the message that these families still have ongoing needs. And we all have had a unique situation where we've experienced isolation firsthand. And it's sort of an interesting thing to consider that this is how our kids feel a lot of the time, is that they feel isolated. And a lot of what we do is provide accessibility and acceptance to them. And the trouble that the families are struggling with right now is the application of continued support for equipment, and that's to provide mobility to these kids in their homes. So the families are now applying for equipment that makes their home more accessible to their kids. So those equipment requests are still coming in from the families, and Easter Seals needs to come up with a creative way to continue fundraising, because we can't do it in event-based fundraising drives like we typically would. So what we're coming up with now is a new online campaign, and we were really sensitive to the timing of it. Is it too soon? Is it appropriate? When is it a good idea? And how long can our families wait? So we are excited to be launching a campaign this week. It's a campaign that encourages people to do 21 times of anything. So have some fun with it, get creative, and do something 21 times, and post yourself online doing 21 push-ups or 21 jumping jacks or 21. One of my colleagues took 21 steps into Lake Simcoe this morning, and basically pledge yourself $21 on the Easter Seals website, and then challenge 3 other people to do the same. So it's a fun way to continue to support our families, get people actively involved, obviously under the safe guidelines that have been provided to us, but to stay active and to remember that there are still ways to help and that $21 does make a difference. And it's a simple thing that we're asking people to do. Take the time, do something 21 times, be silly, have fun sharing it, and then go onto the website and donate $21 to Easter Seals Kids. And we really do look forward to seeing some of that success on a local level and on a society-wide level. And the reason it's 21 is because we are official partners with Century 21. So they're going to be sort of our partner with this, in that they chose Easter Seals Ontario as one of their charities of choice. So we have this sort of unwritten relationship with Century 21 that we're hoping to really launch this with their support. So that's where the name C21 Times comes from.
Hi everybody, Charlene here. I'm doing the 21 Times Challenge for Easter Seal Kids. Our whole province is on pause. All of our events are on pause, but you know what? Our Easter Seal Kids still need. So we've got a great challenge going 21 times for Easter Seal Kids. And after I do the challenge, you can go to our website and just donate $21 for Easter Seal Kids. So everybody knows I love our kids and I do anything for them. Well, this is beyond. I'm actually going into Lake Simcoe, 21 steps for our Easter Seal Kids. Here I go.
I know we were all really excited to spend telethon together. I miss you. I look forward to seeing you in September, and I'm really excited that the potential of telethon could be a fall event. Maybe this is something that we could do going forward.
Executive Director of the Peterborough Humane Society, Sean Morey, updates us on the Humane Society and its volunteers, as well as the launch of the Urgent Animal Care Fund. Here's his conversation with our Mary Tendeshat.
We've been closed for adoptions and fostering since the 27th of March, and we see currently we've got just over 30 animals in our center right now, but also another 35 that are out in fosters, whether they are either new puppies or kittens that we've got fostering for the current time until we can get back open fully again. We've seen a steady increase. Obviously, it's increased a bit. Obviously, we're still open for strays, abandoned, and urgent care animals. So that's obviously something that doesn't stop. We've been doing animal care and protection for the last 79 years, and we're still here. We're still doing it. That nothing has changed on that front from our business standpoint. So regardless of, we are an essential service, and we need to make sure that we are providing those services as we move forward.
How much room is currently available at the shelter?
We still have some capacity, and obviously we'll still be here to provide support to the city and county as we move things forward. Obviously, we're here to provide support. Like I said, we're not going anywhere, and there is some capacity that we have in here. But with kitten season coming around the corner and happening, we're starting to see some moms and babies coming in, and that will change as we go forward, and change quickly, without question.
I'm sure you're missing the volunteers and the work that they provide. How is your staff reacting to the current situation?
Yeah, the staff are doing an amazing job, and you're right, Mary. We rely so heavily on our community, and obviously our community volunteers. They're amazing folks and do some amazing things for us. And yeah, without question, there is a void that is happening within the Humane Society currently. But I do have to give it to our staff. They are doing a phenomenal job, especially from a care and enrichment standpoint. Obviously, as you know, even though the doors are closed to the public, animals still need to be fed, they still need to be medicated, they still need to be cared for and loved, and our staff are doing a fantastic job on that front, and yeah, we're very fortunate to have such dedicated staff. And I mean, animals are such a huge part of our lives as humans, and for us to be able to provide that care and love is that goes unwavering and without any hesitation whatsoever.
As a result, you have set up an urgent animal care fund. Could you explain the program and as well how the public can help?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously our facility, we are 100% based off of donations, right? So we had some major events that we had planned for this upcoming spring that have unfortunately been canceled due to COVID-19. And so this Urgent Animal Care Fund is an opportunity for our community to provide support to the Humane Society in light of us being closed. So without adoptions being available to be done, or these events, and including third-party events that our community usually puts on for us, obviously, as I said, animals still need to be fed, medicated, cared for, and loved on, and obviously funds are needed in order to make that happen. So we are, the Urgent Animal Care Fund is an opportunity for our community to provide those kind of supports monetarily at a time where we need to be closed and unfortunately can't see them or have them into the center.
How are people able then to donate funds?
Yeah, so if they can go directly to peterborough-humanesociety.ca, there's a donate now button right directly on our webpage, and they can help us out by doing so. And obviously the animals that are in our care today, as well as the ones that will be in our care tomorrow, are greatly in need of it.
Sean does go on to explain the fund is more of a proactive approach by the organization at this time, but this is a way to ensure the care for the animals continues. That's our show and the end of the week for us. I'm Dan Malta for Your TV, and we'll see you Monday.
You and me, we didn't sleep again. We'll be alright, we got all the time in this world, and it feels like it was made for us. Oh, boys and girls like you and me, honey. Oh, we'll be okay. There's a